Hi guys, and welcome back to Abridged by a Scot. This is Tolkien Abridged, the Silmarillion Abridged. I am the titular Scot, I am Rabu. I will be abridging things today as always, and as usual, our mission statement: Tolkien, hard to understand, but wonderful. What else is wonderful but hard to understand? The Scottish. So here we go. Last time, it was a big chapter. We covered chapter 7 of the Silmarils and the unrest of the Noldor. Well, you think things were bad then? Well, things are going to get worse today, because chapter 8 is titled, as you know from the end of the last episode, chapter 8 of the Darkening of Valinor. Oh dear. So let's get straight into it. So Manwë, in his infinite wisdom, being the god king of the world, he has surmised that, Melkor's gone north. He must be planning to escape to Middle-earth and go back to one of his old strongholds, go back to, to Angband or Autumno, hide it out, we'll set up a watch on the northern frontier kind of thing. Nope. It turns out the Valar are not only dumb, but they are dumb twice. So, Melkor has once again pulled the old Kansas City shuffle. He has sent them left, he has went right. Melkor pretended to go north and then ran away back down south, because somehow the Valar forgot that he can, shapeshift or, turn invisible. They're just looking in the wrong place for him. Once bitten, twice shy. Not the Valar, they're just like, yep, more please, num. So, looking in the wrong place. So Melkor has ran away to the south of Valinor, to Avatar, the dark region. It's between the mountains and the sea. Down in the south, with it's just this horrible dark region where the Valar don't really go, they don't really bear any mind to it and stuff. And we're going to meet a creature that might be quite familiar, or at least kind of familiar to you guys. So, in a ravine in this area lives Ungoliant. She is a huge, dark creature. She's possibly one of the Maiar that Melkor corrupted in the early days, that maybe ran away to the south instead of the north and stuff. And basically the Valar have never really bothered with. And also, maybe she wanted to be her own mistress or whatever. Basically, she lives in this ravine, and her only hunger is light. She's taken on this huge spider-like shape. Basically, like Shelob from the Lord of the Rings, for a reference point. So this giant, monstrous spider. Oh, fucking horrible, right? So Melkor comes south, and he has a little powwow with Ungoliant. They put their heads together in the darkness and they go, fucking Valar, I can't fucking stand them. You know what, you want to eat some light? Well, I want to get rid of the light. What if we work together and we make this happen, And at this point as well, Melkor takes on, the shape that he is going to have for the rest of his days. This terrible dark lord, essentially like Darth Vader, basically is what we're going for. Kind of Sauron at the start of the cinematic Lord of the Rings. Just this huge dark soldier kind of thing. So we've got Darth Vader and we've got a giant spider, and they want to fuck shit up, essentially. So they put their heads together. And at first Ungoliant's like, mate, you kidding on? Go up to fucking Ta'aman and fight the Valar and stuff. Are you a fucking maniac? And obviously Melkor is a maniac. A megalomaniac at that. And, he just gives it the old silver tongue. He loves to talk, does our Melkor. Oh, I'll give you see if you're still hungry afterwards, I'll give you anything I want with both my hands. He just says this stuff, and literally Tolkien's he's literally laughing to himself, going what a fucking sucker. Oh my god, I can't believe she's buying this. This will have ramifications in the future. So bear that in mind. So they hatch their plan, they get clothed in darkness, this kind of weird, unlight void that Ungoliant kind of sends out. And they go to the highest mountain in the area. They have a little, sweeping kind of Mufasa and Simba look out, across the land. Melkor looks and he sees his target far to the north, the trees of Valinor. And he gives out a big old fucking villain laugh. Time to go. Because right now, and Melkor knows this, and he's planned it accordingly, it's festival time. And one of the things that the Valar like to do is they like to basically shrink down to elf size and stuff, and party with them, and eat and drink like them, and just generally just have a fucking good time. The festival's on Manwë's big mountain, and the holy mountain and stuff, where the Vanir live and shit. Everybody comes along, they sing, they dance, they have a great time and whatever. And yeah, basically now Manwë has decreed that they're gonna have like the biggest party of the summer, the biggest party ever. Because like, you know what? Yeah, Melkor might have escaped. Yeah, we might have like the most, insidious war criminal of all time, like running somewhere and we don't know where, but let's just try and bring everybody back together and have a big party and forget about it. So everybody's coming along, the Noldor, Tyrion's been emptied, the Vanir are already there because they're already there. The Vanir have shrunk themselves down, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style. The only elves that don't come in the area are the Teleri because they just don't give a shit. They just love the sea, so they still hang in like their cities, on the coast, and you can just kind of hear them, far off and whatever. But primarily, yeah, the streets of Tyrion and stuff are empty. The only issue here, the only absentees. So Fëanor is the only elf in Formenos. So like this stronghold that he's created himself. He's the only one to come along because Manwë specifically said, I specifically requested for Fëanor to come here because he wants to put everything to rights. He wants everybody to, kind of be pally-wally, kind of bury the hatchet and whatever, just kind of like put all things aside. So Fëanor does turn up, but none of the rest of them do. In particular, his father is like, yeah, I've actually put aside my kingship until my son isn't exiled anymore. Like, Finwë's a total G. He is an absolute ride or die for Fëanor. So he says, he's gonna stay there and basically he won't meet the rest of his people until Fëanor's exile is over, So Fëanor's sons, the rest of those elves or whatever, they're staying put. Fëanor's also decided that as a protest, he's not going to wear like any armor or ornaments and stuff. He leaves the Silmarils at home. They look, these guys don't get to look at the fucking Silmarils while he's exiled, so they're left at home in his vault. But in better news, Fëanor and Fingolfin they do bury the hatchet. They get together, and Fingolfin's like, it was always a big misunderstanding. Like, I know you totally put a sword to my chest and stuff, but it's all forgiven. It's all good. Don't worry about it, bro. Absolute Fingolfin, forgiven and forgetting. Forgiven and Fingolfin. And in particular, Fingolfin then goes on to go, I'll even vow it. We might be half brothers in blood, but in my heart, we're going to be full brothers. Bro, you tell me, you say, jump, and I'll ask how high. I will follow you to a T. Whatever you say, I'm gonna go along with it. This is an absolutely terrible time to make this vow, but this is what he does. And Fëanor obviously goes, yeah, sick, awesome. Yeah, let's do that. I'll totally be in charge. So literally, as they're making this vow, who should turn up at the trees of Valinor? But once again, where there's mischief, there's Melkor. So Melkor and Ungoliant arrive at the trees of Valinor. Melkor summons himself up a big, great black spear, and he strikes both trees, cuts them open, and Ungoliant's just like, oh, here we fucking go, nom 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 nom. Eats the sheer light out of the trees, and like vomits back in like poisonous bile that she gives out, this kind of anti-light, and the trees die. The greatest light source in the entire world since, the Great Lamps, wither and die because of Ungoliant. And Ungoliant gives out a bit of a belch and goes, is that anything else around here? Goes to Varda's wells, drinks them dry, just belches again. It's just growing bigger and darker and meaner and nastier. And even Melkor's like, oh, holy fuck. I did not think this through. Look at the size of this bitch. Jesus Christ. Yeah, safe to say, Ungoliant has beaten the Valinor buffet, and she has done it easily. And this great darkness falls. It's got this same kind of. It's not just darkness. It's like unlight. Like you cannot see through it. Everything falls silent. And up on the mountain, the only person that can kind of see through this darkness is Manwë with his supervision and whatever, and he can just see through this sheer darkness, this slightly less dark. He can see a tiny bit of navy blue within the black, and it's Melkor running away to the north with Ungoliant, making their getaway. Melkor he's come, he's gone, he came, he saw, he conquered, he killed 2 trees. He's an eco-terrorist, essentially. And, of course, so the boys go, right, let's get this bastard. Let's go after him. So Romy gets on his horse. Hulkus puts on his, doesn't even need his sandals, just runs down the mountain. Here we fucking go, we're going to get him. But this, unlight that's been left behind, it's like a smog, it's a haze, they can't see anything. All of Romy's riders run into each other. They don't know where they're going. Tulkas is literally just like a bad guy in a bad guy in a movie, like a henchman just like stumbling around in the smoke, like trying to, like grab things that aren't there and stuff. Just completely outsmarted, as Tulkas often is. And yeah, basically we just get the the end of the chapter there, which is, Melkor's vengeance has been completely achieved, Rutro, it's not looking great for the Valar, it's not looking great for Valinor, it's not looking great for, the Noldor or the Vanir or any of the elves really, even, at this point, even the Teleri, this like dread wind comes in off the coast and they hear them kind of screaming off in the distance. Like, nobody's having a good time now, apart from Melkor. And even Melkor's like, oh jeez, like, what have I got myself into here? Like, yeah, I achieved my goals, but what did it cost? The only one who's having a great time just now is Ungoliant, who is just, like, kind of full, but it's just like, okay, like, I could go another plate full. Like, what else have you got me? But yeah, so they're running away to the north. Valinor's in complete darkness, and that's where we end the chapter. Next time, you think, oh, things have been bad, and they've gone to worse. Surely they'll tick upwards. Maybe I have some bad news for you guys. Because next time, our next chapter is titled The Flight of the Noldor. Remember that vow that Fingolfin just made to Fëanor? Yeah, I think Fëanor's gonna be calling that in pretty soon, and Fingolfin is gonna have to cash some checks, so yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we will see it next time on the next chapter. I hope you guys have enjoyed this chapter. Any questions, comments about the episode, any theories if you haven't read or gone through the Silmarillion before, I would love to hear them. Please drop them down below. Any likes and follows and stuff on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, etc. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to this episode. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.